Big data can benefit your customers and your business in many ways, but it also poses some risks to their privacy and security. In this section, we will explore some of the advantages and disadvantages of using big data for your business. One of the big advantages of big data is that it can help you make better decisions based on data-driven insights. By analyzing large and diverse sets of data, you can understand your customers better, identify their needs and preferences, and tailor your products and services accordingly. You can also use big data to monitor trends and behaviors, anticipate demand and supply, optimize pricing and marketing strategies, and improve customer satisfaction and loyalty. Big data can give you a competitive edge in your industry and help you grow your business. Another advantage of big data is that it can increase your productivity and reduce your costs. Big data tools allow you to process and analyze more information at faster speeds, saving you time and resources. You can also use big data to find new ways to improve your operational efficiency, streamline your workflows, automate your tasks, and eliminate waste and errors. Big data can help you boost your performance and profitability. A third advantage of big data is that it can enhance your security and fraud prevention. Big data systems that rely on machine learning are excellent at detecting patterns and anomalies, which can help you spot stolen credit cards or fraudulent purchases, often before the cardholder even knows that something is wrong. You can also use big data to protect your network and systems from cyber attacks, identify vulnerabilities and threats, and respond quickly to incidents. Big data can help you safeguard your business and your customers. However, big data also has some disadvantages that you need to be aware of. One of the biggest disadvantages of big data is that it involves collecting and storing sensitive information that requires a high level of protection. Having access to these analytics can make you an attractive target for hackers or malicious actors who want to steal or misuse your data. You also need to comply with various laws and regulations regarding data privacy and security, such as the General Data Protection Regulation, GDPR, in the European Union, or the California Consumer Privacy Act, CCPA, in the United States. You need to ensure that you have the proper consent, encryption, backup, and deletion policies for your data. Another disadvantage of big data is that it can be challenging to manage and maintain. Big data systems are complex and require a lot of technical skills and resources to operate. You need to have the right infrastructure, software, hardware, and personnel to handle the volume, variety, velocity, veracity, and variability of big data. You also need to ensure that your data is accurate, reliable, relevant, and up-to-date. You need to avoid issues such as data silos, duplication, inconsistency, incompleteness, or corruption. A third disadvantage of big data is that it can raise some ethical and social concerns. Big data can enable you to collect and analyze personal information about your customers that may be intrusive or invasive. You need to respect their privacy and dignity, and not use their data for purposes that they did not agree to or expect. You also need to be transparent and accountable for how you use their data and what benefits or risks they may face. You need to avoid biases or discrimination that may result from using big data algorithms or models. As you can see, big data can benefit your customers and your business in many ways, but it also poses some risks to their privacy and security. You need to weigh the pros and cons carefully before deciding whether or not to use big data for your business. You also need to follow the best practices and standards for using big data responsibly and ethically. Customer data is a valuable asset for any business that wants to understand and serve its customers better. But with great data comes great responsibility. Customers expect their data to be protected and used in a responsible and transparent way. How can businesses meet these expectations and comply with the evolving data privacy regulations? Here are some best practices and standards for collecting, storing, processing, and sharing customer data. 1. Know what data you are collecting and why. You can only protect data if you know what it is and where it is stored. You should also have a clear purpose for collecting data and only collect the essential information that you need to achieve that purpose. For example, if you want to send personalized marketing emails to your customers, you don't need to collect their health records or political views. 2. Create and publish a transparent data usage and privacy policy. Customers have the right to know how their data is used and who it is shared with. You should create a clear and concise policy that explains what data you collect, why you collect it, how you use it, how long you keep it, how you protect it, and how customers can access, correct, or delete their data. You should also inform customers about their rights under the relevant data privacy regulations, such as GDPR or CCPA, and obtain their consent before collecting or using their data. 3. Encrypt all sensitive user data. Encryption is a process of transforming data into an unreadable form that can only be accessed by authorized parties with a decryption key. Encryption helps protect data from unauthorized access, modification, or disclosure. You should encrypt all sensitive user data, such as personal information, financial information, or health information, both at rest, when stored on your servers or devices, and in transit, when transmitted over the internet or networks. 4. Protect against phishing scams. Phishing is a type of cyber attack that involves sending fraudulent emails or messages that appear to come from legitimate sources, such as banks, government agencies, or trusted brands. The goal of phishing is to trick recipients into clicking on malicious links or attachments, or providing sensitive information, such as passwords, credit card numbers, or social security numbers. Phishing can compromise your customer data and damage your reputation. You should educate your employees and customers about how to spot and avoid phishing emails or messages, and use security software and tools to detect and block phishing attempts. 5. Update all software and systems regularly. Software and systems that are outdated or unpatched can have vulnerabilities that hackers can exploit to access your customer data. You should keep your software and systems updated with the latest security patches and fixes, and use antivirus software and firewalls to prevent malware infections. You should also monitor your network activity and logs for any suspicious or unusual behavior. 6. Implement multi-factor authentication, MFA. MFA is a method of verifying a user's identity by requiring 2 or more pieces of evidence, such as a password, a code sent to a phone or email, or a biometric feature like a fingerprint or face scan. MFA adds an extra layer of security to your customer data by making it harder for hackers to access your accounts or systems with stolen credentials. You should implement MFA for all your online services and platforms that handle customer data. 7. Train people about cybersecurity practices. People are often the weakest link in the data security chain. Human errors, negligence, or ignorance can lead to data breaches or leaks. You should train your employees and contractors about the best practices for handling customer data securely and ethically, such as using strong passwords, locking devices when not in use, avoiding public Wi-Fi networks, reporting incidents promptly, and following your data usage and privacy policy. By following these best practices and standards for customer data privacy and security, you can build trust with your customers and comply with the law. You can also gain a competitive edge by demonstrating your commitment to protecting your customers' data and respecting their rights. In this section, we will discuss how to implement effective security measures and policies to protect your customer data from unauthorized access, theft, or misuse. Customer data is a valuable asset for any business, but it also comes with a lot of responsibility and risk. If you fail to protect your customer data, you could face legal consequences, reputational damage, and loss of trust. That's why you need to follow these 5 steps to secure your customer data. 1. Only collect vital data. The less data you collect, the less you have to protect. Before you ask your customers for any information, ask yourself, do I really need this data? How will I use it? How long will I keep it? By collecting only the data that is essential for your marketing efforts, you can reduce the external value of your data and the potential harm if it gets compromised. 2. Limit access to data. Not everyone in your organization needs to see all the customer data you have. You should restrict access to data based on the principle of least privilege, which means giving each user only the minimum level of access they need to perform their tasks. This way, you can minimize the risk of data leakage, misuse, or theft by insiders or outsiders. 3. Use password management tools. Passwords are one of the most common ways to authenticate users and protect data. However, passwords can also be easily guessed, stolen, or forgotten. To avoid these problems, you should use password management tools that can generate strong and unique passwords for each account, store them securely, and autofill them when needed. You should also enable multi-factor authentication, MFA, whenever possible, which adds an extra layer of security by requiring a second factor, such as a code or a biometric, to verify your identity. 4. Avoid data silos. Data silos are isolated pools of data that are not integrated or shared with other systems or departments. Data silos can create inefficiencies, inconsistencies, and inaccuracies in your customer data, as well as increase the attack surface for hackers. To prevent data silos, you should use a customer data platform, CDP, that can collect, unify, and synchronize customer data from multiple sources and channels into a single view. A CDP can also help you comply with data privacy regulations by enabling you to manage consent, delete, or anonymize data upon request, and audit data usage. 5. Set minimum security standards. Finally, you should establish and enforce minimum security standards for your customer data across your organization and your third-party vendors. These standards should include policies and procedures for data collection, storage, transmission, retention, and disposal, as well as guidelines for incident response and recovery. You should also educate your employees and partners on the importance of data security and privacy, and provide them with regular training and updates on best practices. By following these 5 steps, you can implement effective security measures and policies to protect your customer data from unauthorized access, theft, or misuse. This will not only help you avoid legal troubles and reputational harm but also build trust and loyalty with your customers in the age of big data.